Good evening. Welcome to APTN National News. I'm Melissa Ridgen. History was made today in Rome, Italy. Pope Francis apologized for the Catholic Church's role in the horrific abuses conducted at residential schools here. APTN's Tina House has been in Italy all week. She has this report from Vatican City.
As over 200 delegates gathered at the Vatican for a final audience with the Holy See, emotions were high as they awaited to see if all the testimony from survivors and presentations from leaders made an impact on the Pope. Fred Kelly was the first to do a prayer.
Holy Father, may the Creator of the Great Spirit bless us today as we meet, that we can walk into the future aware that we must allow and follow the 7 laws of creation, and so that we can live not only in peace and harmony, but in the meantime that we can find that reconciliation and the healing.
And after the prayers were spoken, the Pope finally said the words many have been waiting for.
For the deplorable conduct of these members of the Catholic Church,
e vorrei dirvi di tutto cuore, sono molto addolorato. E mi unisco ai fratelli vescovi canadesi.
I ask for God's forgiveness, and I want to say to you with all my heart, I am very sorry.
Since the late 1800s, residential schools were established in Canada. Over 150,000 Indigenous children were forcibly removed from their homes. Their parents faced jail time if they tried to stop the removal of their children, and oftentimes did not even know where they were. And meanwhile, many of those children suffered terrible abuses that left them scarred for life, and for others, they just never made it home. And here in Rome, the historic meetings between Pope Francis and the Indigenous delegation, the leadership here says this week has laid down a path to walk forward in reconciliation.
And so our message to the world is that we are all in this together. We're human beings. Let's work together to humanize the way we need to with Mother Earth.
For Métis National Council President Cassidy Caron, she says it was an emotional time listening to that long-awaited apology.
I truly felt the sincerity in Pope Francis's words. I felt that he truly translated the truths that we all shared this week from his head into his heart.
For the Tecamacalistic, that confirmed discovery of 215 hidden graves of children really intensified the urgency for the Catholic Church to admit wrongdoing and begin to make amends like what was done today. If those little ones were here today to hear that word sorry, what do you think that they would be feeling?
I think if those little ones were here today to hear those words that came from him, I think would be a step in that right direction. But I think that it's really important also for those parents. So to me, it's going to be something that's extremely important and gives hope to those little ones as well, to know that he is doing those right steps.
And over in St. Peter's Square, powwow dancers and singers performed in celebration of this new path that's been forged, one that holds promise for a new beginning and a chance at healing. And with that long-awaited apology here in Rome, Pope Francis has now promised to come to Canada in July to officially apologize to Indigenous people in Canada. Tina House, APTN National News, Rome.
One of the delegates that is in Rome has been waiting a long time to hear that apology. Here's Tina House with Grand Chief Willie Littlechild.
Thank you. I'm here today with Grand Chief Willie Littlechild, who was there when Pope Francis apologized to the residential schools in Canada. Grand Chief, how was it for you to hear those words, "I'm sorry"?
It was very, very emotional at a number of levels. First of all, 6 years going across the country, listening to over 7,000 survivors. Many of them called for that. They said, in order for me to heal, I need to hear the Pope say, I'm sorry. And from that one perspective, and for an individual perspective, it took me a very long time to try and heal myself from the trauma of residential school, because I was in residential school for 14 years. And many times I was hearing my own story. So shedding tears with the survivors, sometimes laughing with the survivors, celebrating with the survivors. So it was a very, very important call that we made, I thought, from the Commission, to call on the Pope to come to Canada and apologize to the survivors, because we're losing so many on a daily basis now. So it was very special, because also it's my birthday today, and it's probably the best birthday gift I'll ever receive, to hear the apology from His Holiness, the Pope. He not only said, I am sorry, he went beyond that and said, I'm very sorry, which was more emphatic in a sense of emotion, more impact in a sense of emotion. But we need to hear that at home. He needs to come to Canada, which he said he would, but share the same apology to the living survivors and all those that have gone ahead on their spirit journey.
Grand Chief, your story is very powerful. You've connected with so many others that have the same story as you. Happy birthday, Grand Chief. What an amazing gift today for all of us in Canada watching your story evolve and the stories of other people being able to share their truth, to share their honesty about what truly happened. Is this a moment for you to now truly start to heal from what happened to you?
Yes, it is. It's also, I think, very, very important to signal it as a start of reconciliation. Now that we know the truth of what happened, the truth is still unfolding, but it's also now time to turn to true reconciliation. And I think today, with that apology that we had, begins that journey to reconciliation together.
Grand Chief, thank you for being such an incredible leader for our people. Thank you very much, and happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Back to you in studio.
That apology is what many were waiting for, and many others didn't live long enough to see. Murray Sinclair is the former chair of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. He joins us now. Mr. Sinclair, thanks for joining us. How did you feel? What was going through your head when you heard those words from Pope Francis?
Well, I looked at them carefully to see how far they went. I think that was important for us to understand. And I was also conscious of assessing how soft they might be, because the sincerity is often reflected in the words and the way that they're expressed. I saw the video of the expression. It was all in Italian, of course, but at the same time, from the tone of the voice and the presence, I was thinking as I was listening that this is going to be so meaningful to survivors to hear this, to hear what the Pope is saying, and that the Pope is saying it. Because survivors have been waiting a long time. There was a part of me that felt sad about the fact that there were so many survivors who testified before the Commission and who've been waiting, but who aren't able to wait because age caught up with them and have passed on. But I do know that they would have been glad to have heard this. And I was also happy for the Catholics out there, many of whom I've spoken to over the years in the various congregations that asked me to address them, who were weakened in their faith in the church by virtue of the fact that the church had not accepted responsibility, and now who I think will feel strengthened that they can be able to say that their church is doing the right thing.
Yeah. You know, what call to action number 58 from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, it called for the Pope to come here and apologize on Canadian soil to Indigenous people. I think some people were saying that they were surprised that this happened at all. And as you said, many will probably be very thankful that it did happen, but do we have to come here now and do this, or are we good?
No, I think he does need to be here. I think survivors need to be able to share with him their feelings about hearing him say those words, and so I think it would be very important for him to come here, just as it was important for him to go to South America and say what he said to the South American Indigenous people. He could have issued a statement, as many people do, and left it at that, but I think the reality is that getting up and saying it in front of the people to whom it's intended to be given is very important. And so my hope is, in fact, that you might be given an opportunity to address numbers of survivors at more than one gathering, because it's going to be hard to get all the survivors into one gathering, but as many as we can hold while he's here, so that they can hear him say those words, I think would be very meaningful to them, very meaningful to their families, and also, I think, meaningful to all Canadians as well.
Well, we appreciate you taking time to reflect on this with us here today for our audience. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for picking up on this story as well as you have.
We need to take a break, but coming up, a Grand Chief dogged by allegations of misconduct will face a non-confidence vote. We'll tell you about that after the break. The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Executive Council has called a special assembly to take place in May. On the agenda, a non-confidence vote for Grand Chief Arlen Dumas. An AMC press release says the vote will decide if Grand Chief Dumas should keep his job after a senior staff member accused him of sexual misconduct. The release said Dumas will have the opportunity to address the chiefs in assembly prior to the vote. A formal workplace investigation into the alleged sexual assault is underway. The non-confidence vote will take place regardless of the results of the investigation. A date and place for the assembly has not yet been determined. Dumas has not been charged by police in connection with the staff member's allegation. When Iqaluit's water system was contaminated with fuel, everyone understood the long-term fix was going to be expensive. Today, it was announced just how much that's going to cost and who's going to pick up the tab. This from Iqaluit.
You can't put a price on clean drinking water, but you sure can put a price on the equipment needed to supply it. The federal government is paying the way under their disaster mitigation funding.
The federal government will invest over $214 million to ensure the safety and sustainability of Iqaluit's water supply system.
Last October, fuel was discovered in Iqaluit's water supply. Residents were forced to alternate water sources until December. The $214 million will cover building an additional reservoir, work on the ancient water filtration plant, and pipes. The project is expected to take 4 years to complete.
I could go on a long conversation about how this is going to change our city, because it will. It's going to give us a foundation to build on, something that we've been lacking for a number of years. Our infrastructure is in critical need of an influx of money, and this is going to help us greatly.
Just like Nunavut's problems compound each other, the solutions can too. More drinkable water means that the city can zone new lots for construction, helping with our housing crisis. It also frees up city and territorial resources for whatever the next crisis is. And in Nunavut, you never really know when that next crisis is coming. Kent Driscoll, APTN National News, Iqaluit.
First Nations communities and an estimated 150,000 band members who have been without clean drinking water are now eligible for a part of a multi-billion-dollar agreement to settle a class action lawsuit. Here's Annette Francis with more from the Tyendinaga Mohawk territory.
Tyendinaga is just a 15-minute drive outside the city of Belleville in southern Ontario. Since 2008, a long-term drinking water advisory had been in effect. It's now been lifted.
I'm very, very excited and very happy to see the 6 of the 7 boil water advisories lifted. The provision of safe drinking water is so vital to the health and safety of people that live in any community.
About 75% of the homes now have clean drinking water. Brennan McGuire doesn't have that luxury yet. It'll be a few more years before the water lines are hooked up here.
Not having clean water to drink is definitely a struggle because you don't really realize how awful it is until you wake up thirsty and you realize I don't have any water. I can't go to my tap to drink water.
Tyendinaga is one of more than 250 First Nations eligible for the First Nations drinking water settlement. Affected individuals are also eligible for part of the $1.8 billion set aside as compensation.
We don't do census in the community, but generally speaking, we've had around 2,200 members living in the community. Between 2,000 and 2,200 members have lived here. So that's about the number of eligible members.
To apply, First Nations and individuals must have been subject to a drinking water advisory for at least 1 year between November 20th, 1995 and June 20th, 2021. Applications can be printed from the website at firstnationsdrinkingwater.ca or filed online. It can be complicated. That's why Tyendinaga has help.
We've hired a staff person, a person to work with community members, but also OKT Law, Kevin Hill, they're working with communities too to help file their claims for the class action lawsuit. So there is help available there.
A claim for compensation doesn't mean a lot to band member Brandy Miracle.
I haven't really thought about it yet because it's going to be breadcrumbs compared to what it should be.
Many people she's spoken to have had trouble understanding the claim process.
Well, it states in this claim that if you suffered any kind of health problems they review your problem, and you'll need a family doctor to confirm it. And if you don't have a family doctor, you won't be awarded. And I don't have a family doctor. A lot of us here don't have a family doctor.
The compensation to help buy clean, drinkable water is something McGuire looks forward to.
My roommate has actually made a claim, and we're really excited to see the results of that.
Anyone wanting to file a claim has until March 7th, 2023. Annette Francis, APTN National News, Tyndanaga.
Thanks, Annette. Today, the Northwest Territories moves closer to normalcy with the end of their public health emergency, and for one DHO community, the ability to travel freely once again. Our reporter Charlotte Moore-Jacobs explains.
It's been a long pandemic for the remote community of Etchedenico, Fort Liard, Northwest Territories. COVID-19 restrictions were in place for over 18 months, with a border check stop separating the north and neighboring British Columbia, a 25-minute commute from Fort Liard. For months, no vehicles were even permitted through this border on Highway 7. Anyone needing to drive south had to make the roughly 600-kilometer drive to the Alberta NWT border. Later in the pandemic, families would meet at the border to exchange goods. But today, that check stop is no more. Fort Liard's Mayor, Genevieve McLeod, is one of the first to cross freely into BC. We've reached her in Fort Nelson.
I had not even traveled south until today. People would ask, why are the gates so closed, even though the U.S.-Canada border is open? we had no answers. And
McLeod says Fort Liard and Fort Nelson share familial connections, and many from the NWT rely on Fort Nelson for goods and services.
It has been a struggle with the border. You could see it was taken a mental toll on a lot of people and everything, because being stuck there, and it was very hard to get supplies and everything. Even myself, to do any renovations and stuff, all our supplies we would usually get from Fort Nelson.
The NWT lifted the public health emergency, and with it, all restrictions at midnight last night. Charlotte Moore-Jacobs, APTN National News, Yellowknife.
Time for one more break, but when we come back, our favorite Cree opera singer hits the Grammys this weekend. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's take a look now at tomorrow's weather. East Coast, we got showers and 8 for St. John's, showers and 4 for Halifax. Inukjuak, snow, -8 degrees, sunshine for you in La Grande River, -5. Set Hills, 5 with chance of snow, Shibukamu, 1 mostly sunny. Peterborough, sunshine and 8 degrees, North Bay, rain and 3. 2 and the chance of flurries for Sioux Lookout, Thunder Bay, chance of snow, 7 degrees there. Thompson and the Paw, both 0 degrees, a little bit of cloud. 3 in sunshine for Winnipeg Dauphin, you're going to be sunny and 2. 8 in showers for Swift Current, 5 in showers for Saskatoon. L'Orange, 3 with a mix of sun and clouds, -7 in snow for Stony Rapids. Sunshine and 10 for Grand Prairie, 9 with a chance of flurries for Fort McMurray. 8 and sunny for Red Deer and Edmonton, 10 in sunshine for Medicine Hat. Vancouver, 11 in showers. Victoria, 11 with a mix of sun and cloud. To the north, snow and 1 for Fort Nelson. Smithers, cloud, 7 degrees. Mayo, -4 and snow, 2 in sunshine for Whitehorse. Yellowknife, -16 in sunny skies. Sunshine for Norman Wells, -19 there. -24 in Fort McPherson and sunshine, Tuktoyaktuk, sunny, -25. -22 in sunny for Baker Lake, New Yacht, -17, mostly clear. Clyde River, -8 and snow. Igloolik, -9 and snow. The 64th Annual Grammy Awards are taking place this Sunday, and Cree opera singer and Grammy Academy member Rhonda Head will be there. Our reporter Sarah Connors has this story.
It's the biggest music award ceremony in the world, with some of the industry's biggest names hitting the red carpet. And Cree opera singer Rhonda Head will be there for all the action.
It's really exciting because I get to see some really amazing performers.
The 8-time international award-winning mezzo-soprano opera singer is headed to the 64th Annual Grammy Awards in Las Vegas, though she's not up for nomination this year. A member of the Opaskwayak Cree Nation in Manitoba, Head is also a member of the Grammy Academy. As an Academy member, Head can vote for artists up for an award. She says Indigenous representation is important at events like the Grammys, like how Australian Indigenous artist Kid Leroy is up for Best New Artist.
Hopefully more of us will be able to attend the Grammys, and hopefully see more Indigenous artists get nominated for a Grammy.
She'll also be showcasing an important symbol for her walk down the red carpet.
I'm also going to be sporting the We All Children Matter flag, and I'm getting the orange ribbons that we're going to wear, and then I'm going to make extras to hand them out to create awareness about All Children Matter.
Head hopes everyone will tune in to the show on Sunday. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
They should just give Rhonda a Grammy anyway. She deserves it. That is a wrap on a very busy news week. We are so glad that you could join us. If you missed anything this week, I will be back here to recap it all tomorrow for you. And of course, you can always catch up on our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Melissa Ridgen. Have a great night.